Traveling has never been this simple in the Gambia. Oh yes, you don't need to visit the GTSC depot just to get a ticket. Just download the Yona Wallet app today and enjoy hassle-free bookings. With Yona Wallet, you can buy your GTSC bus ticket right from your phone, anytime, anywhere. From Kanifing to Dakar, Dakar to Banjul, or upcountry routes like Kanifing to Basse and Basse to Banjul, Yona Wallet has you covered. No queues, no stress. Just safe, fast, and convenient ticketing at your fingertips. Choose comfort. Choose convenience. Choose GTSC with Yona Wallet. Yona Wallet. Your money, your way. GTSC. Moving the nation forward. For more information, please call 1124 or 221-1668.
Diwli lanni maro lanni
fop lanni
awa joni mi anda honno gerde ten e ngaldo sabu e ngaldo Ibrahima jonnal taw joni mi anda se yahay kapitiki nyawlo den ha humpondire makko est ce qu'on non e warude
waden no awa
ane ko de Ibrahima ma ko to woni
mo Amerique
ko Amerique a woni kede humpitaki fi be musibe men baluwo be andanda kala ko wawda wonde aduna si arrivi e juude mabbe a jonna do dépassement Gambia har no weebi ayata kadi taw ko mbudi din no jawi walla no jippi be halanta ma ko kala ko falda ko re sengo nyamete ili nebba maro basal pomme de terre kala ko rewi don a hendo to har no weebi kadi wona dum don tu be abbe jonnira mobile phone siko dum kadi laptop kala ko wayrode jibe ay kasbawa be wawma jonnude kadi sa fala pitade ko weebi etti Google account ma joni data ton wada download app mabbe on ayay kala ko humpi may mabbe to be weebi yama
ka wonda woy aduna on
kala ko wawda
a jonnanay wondo kaleji men Gambia do dépense
harano weebi yama si dum no fono nebi immo den joni mi do tama ka place mabbe jan
waden joni
iya heba ko fala
waden kisam
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Everyone here present, let me, with humility, but also with special privilege, to acknowledge the presence of other political parties here. As Mr. Mane has pointed out, we have PPP, with whom we have already formally agreed to form a coalition with. We also have ADD and PAP, and we are glad that they are gracing this occasion with their presence, which for me is very significant, and it's a good omen for the Gambia, and we believe that from here, we'll all be treading the same path. And let me acknowledge the presence of the deputy party leader and some of our grateful soldiers who are here with us, as well as the members of the press. Let me thank you for your attendance at this press conference on very short notice. Today, the United Democratic Party wishes to update the Gambian people on our review of the recently concluded 2026 supplementary voter registration. Our objective is simple: to promote transparency, strengthen public confidence, and ensure that all stakeholders have confidence in the integrity of our electoral process. Prior to the commencement of the supplementary voter registration in April 2026, a United Democratic Party delegation led by myself and senior members of my party met with the executive leadership of the IEC. The purpose of that meeting was to address outstanding concerns from previous exercises, clarify procedures, and strengthen safeguard measures that would buttress the voter registration process. During that meeting, we raised several issues related to the prevention of multiple registration and explored possible technical solutions. We offered to make suggestions that could support efforts to eliminate, or at the very least, minimize multiple registrations. The Commission informed us that implementing such a system before the commencement of the exercise would not be feasible due to time constraint. Throughout the registration exercise, the UDP deployed agents across the country to observe the process and collect registration information. Following the completion of the exercise, our IT team analyzed the data collected by the party and the data made available to it by the IEC. The IEC publicly announced at a monthly IEC stakeholders forum held at Caraba International Conference Center in June 2026 that 212,095 Gambians registered during the supplementary voter registration exercise. Following a detailed analysis of the voter registration data set initially provided by the IEC, the UDP discovered discrepancies between the data. The data provided by the IEC to the political parties showed that total of 179,445 registered voters. That is a differential of 32,650. After some protests and representations made to the IEC admitted that those registered on 8th of April had been omitted from the initial publication. Consequently, the list was updated with an additional 3,713 voters. That is a cumulative total of 183,163 voters. This still leaves a discrepancy of 28,932 voters. The IEC claims that another 14,334 representing multiple registration should be deducted from the 28,932. In our own analysis, that will still leave an uncounted number of 14,598. Our technicians will provide you with details of their findings. On July 16, the UDP wrote formally to the IEC, requested the total registration data before deletions, the number of duplicates removed, the final register after deletion. and the complete data set before and after adjudication, that is reconciliation of the figures. We also requested an extension of the scrutiny period to ensure that political parties and the general public have sufficient time to examine the complete register once it is made available to ensure transparency, clarity, and credibility of the editorial of the electoral data. The UDP met with the IEC earlier this month today, and the team will brief you on the outcome of the meeting. We asked for the extension of time because the information that the IEC was given had been piecemeal. The pasting of the list and various public places was all not done at one time. There were a significant number of people who were omitted. We did not have any problem for the omissions because anyone who feels that your name was omitted could go to the IEC within 14 days and get your name inserted in the register. But we do have problem with the objections because if the complete list of voters is not published, how on earth can anyone take objection to any person who is ineligible to have his name entered on the voters list? And we reckon that the objection, or at least the period for filing the objection, should commence from the date that the complete list was given. You cannot make it happen when you had a huge number of people whose names were, a huge number of people who did not have an opportunity to scrutinize the list because those lists were not published in any public place. So this is why we do ask for an extension of time, and that extension of time we believe that the IEC should really concede to it. We are not asking for the UDP, we are asking this for not for any political party, but also we are asking for so that IEC's own integrity will not be questioned by anyone, because can easily wrong with the story. Yes, they gave half list because they wanted to get involved in dubious activity. We are not saying anything, but we want to prevent any such insinuation, any such deduction being made by anybody. That is why we're asking for an extension of time. And we are also making it quite clear to the IEC that the time runs not from the 7th of June, but from the 8th of June. Because I have it on the authority of the Interpretation Act, which is applicable to all notices, and is applicable to all proclamations, to all laws, that when an event is not going to be done in days, the day that is happened is always excluded. So the 7th of June, by the Interpretation Act, should be excluded, and even if they do not give any extension, the proper time on the date on which the last day on which the objection should be filed would be tomorrow, the 21st of July. But let me be absolutely clear: the UDP is not alleging fraud or wrongdoing on the part of IEC. We are simply asking for a full reconciliation of the figures so that all political parties and the Gambian people can have the confidence that the electoral register accurately reflects the outcome of the registration exercise. The United Democratic Party remains fully committed to peaceful, democratic participation and to working constructively with the IEC and all stakeholders. This is not about politics. It is about protecting the confidence of every Gambian voter in the democratic process. Our objective is not confrontational, and I will ask all our supporters in dealing with this matter not to be confrontational at all. Our objective is confidence building, and I ask every member of the United Democratic Party to engage in the debate in this matter with the sole objective of building confidence in our electoral system and not to castigate anyone and impute any wrongdoing to any person. This I ask all our foot soldiers, all our people who are on various forums releasing audios, that we are not saying IEC have done anything wrong. We are saying that let us get to work together so that Where corrective measures could be done, we will do so to the satisfaction of all of us, and we believe that if we do so, IEC's integrity will be shored up. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Statements about this press conference. Our objective is to make sure, as Party leader said, that we get credible, free, fair, and transparent elections in this country on the 5th of December 2026. That is our objective. We will provide this press conference statements more in English for the technicians, in Mandinka, in Wolof, in Fuller, and in Sarapuli. The objective is that we want to reach as many people in the country as possible to ensure that what we stand for is clear to everybody, and everybody has a clear understanding of UDP's position regarding this exercise. When the supplementary voter election registration was completed, the IEC convened a meeting of all the stakeholders and the political parties at the Kairaba International Conference Center and gave us the total number of people registered. And that came down to 212,095 people registered in the country. Out of that number, as Party leader just indicated, there were 24,334 cases of multiple registrations. These are cases where people registered more than once. And that was due partly to ignorance on the part of some. For some, it was probably laziness, and for some, it might be just outright corrupt intent. What happened for some people who didn't understand that when you lose a voter's card or it's destroyed, you need to go to IEC and have a replacement because you are entitled to vote. So if your voter's card is in any way not usable, you go to IEC and you have a replacement. Some people didn't understand that. They just went out to register again. And that is not correct because the law doesn't allow that. That is dual or several multiple registrations. So those cases have been detected. Some other people knew that they needed to be, say you're currently residing in the Greater Banjul area and you registered in Basse, but you now live here and you've lost your card. Instead of having to go to Basse and do it, some did it here because they didn't want to pay to go to Basse, etc. There were several cases. But for some, we did detect that they registered under several names or several identities within the Greater Banjul area and elsewhere. That was intent to commit fraud. Some changed names, some changed ID documents. So these cases have been detected, and that is what came to 24,334 cases. And that was committed by 14,334 people. So this is where the problem came. What do we do with those cases? We are still working with the IEC to isolate the cases of outright fraud. People who are involved in outright fraud could be prosecuted. Those who made mistakes or were lazy will get some form of amnesty. So this is where we are, but we are still working with IEC as stakeholders. And that is not just UDP, it's all the political parties in the country who have been invited to that forum to discuss with IEC. We had a meeting with them about 3 weeks ago, and we're continuing. So that work is ongoing. In the meantime, the voter register has to be sanitized, and it has to be made reliable. Out of the 212,095 registered Gambians, IEC decided that they were going to deduct the 14,334 who were involved in multiple registrations. But before that, when the registration was completed, all the political parties were handed flash drives with the number of people registered. And as we keep saying all the time, we have a very robust and sophisticated IT system. We envy nobody with that. not even the IEC. We have a very robust system. And we fed that data into our software, and we found out that the number on that software that was given to us, to the flash drive, came to 179,000 and a few. 179,000 registered Gambians on that flash drive, as opposed to the 212,095, which means that there was a discrepancy of about 32,000 between what was registered and announced by the IEC and what was provided to us in the flash drive. When the protests were made, essentially by UDP, we were given a second list by IEC to say that there was a mistake. The list corresponding to the first day of the registration, that's the 8th of April, was not captured in what was released. So the IEC released a second set of data on the 13th, and that comprised 3,713 extra voters who were not captured in the initial list. Now, when you deduct that from the total, we came to 183,000 people who were registered. So out of 212,000, we have 179 that we had on the flash drive, plus 3,713 that IEC gave as a supplementary list. That leaves a total of 183,000 and a few hundreds. Now, the question is, if you deduct 183,000 from the 212,000, we are still left with a differential of 28,000 people unaccounted for. So we asked the IEC, what is the explanation, the justification for that? We were told 14,334 people who are involved in the multiple registration were also deducted from the total. And that would leave still a total of 14,000 people unaccounted for. Because 14,334 deducted from the 28,000, we still have 14,000 people unaccounted for. So our question to IEC was, can you explain to us where these 14,000 have gone? What is the justification? Today, at the request of our party leader, we went to IEC, we had another meeting with them. And in that meeting, I was with Mr. Larry Sise here, Modou Sarr, who is currently not here, and now one of our IT specialists. We had that meeting with them and we went over a number of things. And we were promised that we're going to continue working on that to clarify the situation. As the party leader said, our objective is not to say that IEC was involved in fraud or any wrongdoing. What we want is to understand where the additional 14,000 are. And IEC has told us that they are working with their IT experts so that we all get the same number and the figures explained. That's all we want. Because what we want is to have free, fair, and credible elections on the 5th of December, where nobody can contest, nobody can say, I was cheated out of victory. But we have lived this situation before. So that's why we are being careful. And today we are happy to see some of our sister political parties join us in this exercise. What we want to do from here is to continue working with IEC to establish everything that needs to be told to the Gambian people. Another issue we discussed with IEC is the deadline for submitting petitions about the people who were found to be suspicious during the registration exercise. IEC, as the party leader said, gave a first set of data on the 7th of July. And that was supposed to be the day from which the deadline would start. And the law says that up to 14 days after the publication of the list, we could put in petitions. And that deadline was supposed to be tomorrow, 21st of July. Unfortunately, there was a misunderstanding. IEC claimed that it was supposed to have been today, the 20th. But after long discussions with them, we made them understand that the 7th could not count because the 7th was the day it was published, so the counting started from the 8th, so which will mean that the deadline will be tomorrow, 21st, not today, 20th. So we more or less came to an agreement on that, but it's still pending a bit. But the fact is that that is overtaken by events. Because the IEC published a second data set on the 13th, including the 3,713 which were omitted from the initial data because this corresponded to the people who allegedly were registered on the 8th. So what we ask IEC is we want to see a full data set. The full data of those registered before any subtractions or manipulations. So we want to see the 212,095 in a database. We want to see the 14,000 who were allegedly involved in multiple registrations so that we can do our own checks. We want to see the 3,713, which by the way, when we checked, it was 3,718, not 13, but 5 is, we can live with that. We want to make sure that those people also correspond to what is there for the 8th of April, when the registration started. So basically, what we're asking IEC is run us through your data, give it to us as raw data, which we also will exploit using our softwares we have developed. Because as we keep saying, from the 5th of December 2021, we started working on this to make sure that we have very robust, reliable, and impeachable software that will control every aspect of these elections, to make sure that nobody gets cheated out of victory, to make sure that every result is true and reliable and credible. So we have what it takes to do those controls. So we are asking IEC to provide us with that data, the raw data, which we will also examine and compare to what we have. Again, we are not suspecting them of fraud. We just want to be able to verify for ourselves so that when we leave, we can tell everybody that IEC has done the job they're supposed to do, and we move on from there. This is what we're trying to achieve: transparency, credibility, and fairness of the elections. This is our sole objective. So we ask all our colleagues in the party and outside the party, as our party leader has just said, to work along those lines. We do not want anything that is going to indicate that we are accusing anybody of anything. Thank you.
Traveling has never been this simple in the Gambia. Oh yes, you don't need to visit the GTSC depot just to get a ticket. Just download the Yona Wallet app today and enjoy hassle-free bookings. With Yona Wallet, you can buy your GTSC bus ticket right from your phone, anytime, anywhere. From Kanifing to Dakar, Dakar to Banjul, or up-country routes like Kanifing to Basse and Basse to Banjul, Yona Wallet has you covered. No queues, no stress. Just safe, fast, and convenient ticketing at your fingertips. Choose comfort. Choose convenience. Choose GTSC with Yona Wallet. Yona Wallet. Your money, your way. GTSC. Moving the nation forward. For more information, please call 1124 or 221-1668.
diwli lanni maaro lanni
fop lanni
awa joni mi anda honno gerdeten e ngal ɗo sabu e ngal ɗo Ibrahima jonnal taw joni mi anda se yahay kapitiki ñawloɗen ha humpodire makko est ce que noon e warude
waɗen noon awa
ane ko de Ibrahima ma ko to woni
mo Amérique
ko Amérique a woni kede humpitaki fiɓe musidɓe men baluwo
baluwo
ɓe andanɗa kala ko wawɗa wonde e aduna o si a rewi e juuɗe maɓɓe a jonnay ɗo dépassement o Gambia hara no weeɓi a yahata kadi taw ko mbuɗi ɗi no ƴawi walla no jippi ɓe haalantama ko kala ko falɗa ko rewi sengo ñamete ili nebba maaro basalle pomme de terre kala ko rewi ɗon a hendoto hara no weeɓi kadi wona ɗum ɗon tu ɓe aɓe jonnira e mobile phone siko ɗum kadi laptop kala ko wayrode ɗiɓe hay kaspawa ɓe wawma jonnude kadi sa fala humpitade ko weeɓi ƴetti Google account ma joni data ton waɗa download app maɓɓe on ayiyay kala ko humpima e maɓɓe ton ɓe ɓiyama
ka wonɗa wo e aduna on
kala ko wawɗa
a jonnanayi wonɗo ka leydi men Gambia ɗo dépense
hara no weeɓi ha ma si ɗum non fof no neeɓi immoɗen joni mi ɗowtama ka place maɓɓe jano
waɗen joni
iya heɓa ko falaɗa
waɗen kisam.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.